Hillard. No.
I started. What you're talking about? His newest video.
Yeah.
I saw the first 15 seconds of it. I almost started crying. I stopped it. Is he crying in the beginning? His eyes are. He's emotional.
I haven't watched enough of it yet to know. That's why I was asking if you saw it.
It's 40 minutes long. Bam, we're live. Yeah, bam. Yeah, bam.
Paper cups are back.
Why is that? What happened?
They got lost in the move, and then I found them again.
Oh, you're a paper cup guy in general?
Well, it's just easier when I make an espresso because half the time I dump it into my coffee. That probably sounds bad, huh?
No, what? No, not at all.
Little red eye.
The coffee shop out here.
Only if you're worried about us thinking you're a meth addict.
There's a coffee shop out here. It's called, and they make called the mother of all coffees, the Moac, and it's like
Moac.
Yeah, it's stupid. 2 cups of coffee, and like it's like a cup of coffee, a cup of cold brew, and 4 shots of espresso.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
can't
for the maintainers.
Is it a who runs that? Is that an American run coffee shop? Oh, that's why they think it's cool to call it that. But
well, I think they're trying to appeal to the people who would buy it the most, and it's the maintainers, and they're like, they have one of the bombs is like the mother of all bombs or something like that, Moab, and so they're like, it's like, yeah, this is cool American shit.
Just a ridiculous amount of coffee.
It's absurd.
Why would you mix a cold brew with a regular brew? I don't get that.
Because it's going to be like scalding hot, so you have to like taper it down so it's not as hot when you drink it.
So you cool it down with more coffee. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I get it. I sent you the notes today in 2 sections.
Yeah, I was confused. Got a little nervous.
The second half is just because Susan only gets like half the notes at a time.
And then when you set them like that, the first one has all of the notes.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's always how. That's why when I saw it, I was like, I was gonna tell you, I was like, that's always how it works, right?
Of course. Oh, it's weird. Shit, my notes aren't even in there. There's this guy who watches who hates the fact that I use.
I was gonna say you do it via email.
I'm in big trouble.
Not Google Doc. Google Doc.
I'm sure it's on my phone. That guy we had on, Travis Bagent's son. We've had his dad on, Travis Bagent. We've also had Tyson Bagent on. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, but Tyson, for those of you who watch football, I mean, I don't watch football, but Tyson Bagent just broke the all-time touchdown passes in all divisions as a quarterback, 158. It's pretty nuts. Hi, Jeffrey. Good morning.
Yeah, and you could tell it's getting big because I just typed into the Google search bar Tyson BA, and all of it's Tyson Bagent, ESPN, Tyson Bagent stats, and his Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you found that quick. Bagent, the 2021 Harlan Trophy winner, as the top 2 division player and finalist for the 2022 honor. He'll win it again. The Harlan Hill Trophy is Division II football's equivalent to the Heisman.
Could you imagine a Division I athlete winning the Heisman 2 years in a row? I know you don't watch football, but that's an incredible feat.
Yeah, I would. It's interesting because this kid may have done it.
Because it's based off votes too.
Right.
Like it's not like you could have a really great season, but you're not going to get the Harlan Hill or the Heisman.
Right.
And you're definitely more than likely not going to get it twice.
In his game like two games ago when he broke his conference's all-time touchdown passing record, the head coach from the other team was the guy who had set the record like 20 years earlier. And wow. That guy, and maybe I'm conflating stories, but I think that guy then ended up coming out onto the field. They stopped the game. He shook Tyson's hand. And then later that guy was being interviewed. He said his 27 years as a head coach or whatever, he had never seen a quarterback like this. There is no other Tyson Bagent.
I hope he gets drafted. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get drafted in the first round from some of the weird shit. Like, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, not what maybe I've already said some of it on the show, but the people that are coming to his house to court him, it's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of nowhere. Is that West Virginia?
Yeah.
You
like,
know
like
they mean
maybe
it,
the alt. Say that again.
You know they mean it if they're coming out there to see him play.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: one of the best quarterbacks ever, who everyone knows, who's old as dirt now, came to his house for dinner to talk to him, and then who I would say is the greatest running back who ever lived, who probably a lot of people don't know, also called him, and they're really trying to get him to.
Did they ask him to do the combine?
All that he was invited to the Senior Bowl. That's like
That's
like,
a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's I think everyone knows. Dude, imagine the all-time touchdown passing record in college football. I don't know who Reggie Bush is, but it's not Reggie Bush. And I shall not say. Shall not.
Corey had a good guess.
Oh, Mike, this is close. Help him. You're close. You're close. Here we go. Well, and that's why no one knows about who the all-time greatest running back of all time is, because he played with the Lions. What a fucked up situation. Yeah, what a special human being that guy was, right? Holy crap.
Sanders. Yeah.
It was so weird watching him play, because you would always be excited. I don't know who the football players are now. Another great guess, Mr. Butter. But there were tons of great football players, like, back in my day, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Jim Plunkett. There were players that were exciting and you like to see shit. But then there was this one guy, and every time he got the ball, you were like, oh shit. And and it's that guy, because it was just nuts. And even though his team was just ass, what a weird place.
How's the weather down there? Is it cold?
It's perfect now. It's cold in the morning. Well, it's not cold. It's overcast, so it's kind of warm still. It's like probably 70 degrees. But then at 3 o'clock, the way that sun hits the coast of California, it starts warming up. Probably like 78 yesterday around 3.
That's awesome. It's cold and rainy here.
Oh, yeah. Man, Earl Campbell was something else, too. You're right, Casey. I forgot about that. That was freakish. He was freakish, too. Yeah, I assume you're talking about the Detroit Lions. Yeah, Bo was something. There was I remember, because I used to watch the Raiders religiously. I think that they had 3 Heisman Trophy winners in their backfield at one point. I think they had like Bo Jackson, Jim Plunkett, and was it like James Jett or some shit? It was nuts. I don't think it was OJ.
OJ the Juice.
OJ was, I think, even before my time. Yeah, Walter was cool. Yesterday, I brought up this quote. Who would you be with? We were talking about tools to watch your thoughts, and I talked about this tool. It comes from a lady. Someone sent it to me in my DMs, or someone said it in the YouTube comments. It comes from a lady named Byron Katie. I had forgotten her name, and she has this thing called the 4 steps. And what's funny is, I was introduced to Byron Katie, not her personally, but her stuff. And as I started researching her, I realized that she's married to Stephen Mitchell, who is the author of my favorite book of all time, the Tao Te Ching, that pocket edition. Isn't that trippy?
Really?
Yeah.
That is.
So trippy. Byron Katie is trippy. If you see her videos, she's trippy as fuck. They're trippy. I think they lived in Berkeley too. I remember trying to find their house. I always wanted to walk by their house.
Just walk by?
Yeah. I walked everywhere.
Hope they're kind of in the front yard so you could strike a conversation or at least get a look.
When I went to school for 6 months over at the University of London, and when I was there, I can't remember where Stephen Hawking was teaching, but he lived on campus. This is probably in 1992. And and I went to his house and knocked on the door because I wanted to meet him, but he wasn't home. But he had glass doors in the front, so I could look in his house. And I did. Yeah, I did. I did. I think that's maybe like the only famous person I ever stalked. I did watch the fight last night with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Kevin Holland. It was something else. Did Patty Pimblett fight last night? I thought he was gonna fight. Maybe I had my schedule all wrong.
Tai Tuivasa fought.
Yeah, that Russian crushed him, huh?
Yeah, he got smoked.
That was weird. Good morning, Shiz of Shiv Graphics, quickly becoming the
Oh, that's him. I saw some of his graphics. Got some
the Brian friend of commentating. He's the Shiz is becoming the underground graphics god. So I wanted to share with you, for those of you who are interested, I wanted to share with you a couple things. I wanted to explain to you, there was a post in there that I made this YouTube clip where I talked about how breasts and masks, I was trying to show the power of masks, that basically even someone like me who knows they are a complete joke, when I see them, I cannot resist the penetration of what they tell me. And it's the same way with boobs. I was using the illustration that you could just take a lady and just put right in front of you, in front of 100 guys. I would argue that you could just put water balloons under her shirt or socks. And if you had like these little monitors on all 100 dudes' penises, you would see some sort of change in them. Oh, Patty fights next week.
Some activity.
Yeah, so you'd see some activity. You're not sold on that, are you, Caleb?
Well, no. I'm not. I'm sold on that.
I am not hungover. I'm just so chill this morning. I am definitely not hungover.
It's the morning Newport voice.
Yeah, I'm sick or something, I think. Go ahead, Caleb. Boobs.
I'm just not sold on the fact that you like all of them.
Okay, 99.
Okay, but even this 400-pound woman that we showed on her Instagram clip.
Okay, she's a hot girl. I'm willing to bend with you. I
can't appreciate that.
Okay, here we go.
The personality.
Here we go. It's a 5'2" Puerto Rican girl with super long black thick hair and skin that's as soft as marble. And
yes, of course.
26 years old, and she's as flat as a cutting board. And then right in front of us, she puts the water balloons in.
Then yeah, I would immediately just instinctively I would say, oh wow.
Yeah.
But if it was somebody that I could see in my periphery for like 45 degrees because of how wide they are.
Yeah, that's fine.
Then I go to
bend with you. I'm willing to bend with you. I'm willing to bend.
Okay.
I'm willing to bend with you. I'm just talking 100 dudes sitting in chairs. Girl walks up to the front of the room, and you slip water balloons under her shirt, and she's the perfect girl. And
sure.
I boobs are boobs to me. I'm just saying. You can't even if the girl has giant boobs, if she's wearing a sweatshirt, they might be hidden.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Some guys love. I mean, all guys love. I think all guys actually love flat boobs too. Whether they say it or not, they don't. We don't care.
I just loved Caleb's answer. I can't appreciate that.
I want to I want to recalibrate Caleb. I want to take him to a land of just obese women and watch him just slowly recalibrate.
Dude, I would probably go nuts in the first like 2 hours.
I want to take you to Disneyland. I'm going to leave you in Walmart for a month. Well, I recalibrate so quickly. Anyway, so I apologize for projecting my calibration. I don't know if it's skills or weaknesses. Anyway, there is what I'm about to tell you is not true. So in that post that I made, someone wrote in there psychoanalysis from a non-psychologist. And it made me think about a way to explain to you where psychology has lost its way. And what I'm going to say to you is 100% not true. This is just a tool to look at things so that if you're interested, you could start the journey inward. And it was developed by a Russian philosopher named P.D. Ouspensky at the turn of the century. Sorry, Russian mathematician. And he hung out with a lot of really fantastic people at the turn of the century. I think it was like, when I say turn of the century, I mean 1900. And he wrote a lot of books. He wrote a book called The Fourth Way. And I think he wrote another book called like The Possible Evolution of Psychology. I'm saying it wrong. But the paradigm that he created, or that's talked about in this book, is there are four kinds of things that we react to that come from us, and they come at four different speeds. So you have to imagine a well, right? And you're looking down the well, and something comes up from that well, and it comes up really slow. And those are thoughts. And those thoughts are the easiest thing to watch because they move so slow. So I'll give you an example. If I told you that you were going to fast starting Monday morning for 48 hours, many of you would start having thoughts, especially as it got closer to the evening tonight. You'd start panicking a little bit. You'd start having these thoughts about, oh shit, maybe it's 11:59. Maybe I should eat some shit because I'm not going to get to eat for the next 48 hours. There's this anxiety that comes in the form of thoughts. The Psychology of Man's Possible Evolution. Yeah, great book. God, such a great book. That was one of the first books that ever changed my life. I just found it on one of my friend's bedroom floors when I was over there. I'm like, hey, can I have this book? He said, sure. And so those are thoughts, and you can watch those thoughts much easier than you can watch anything else. They come very slow. A lot of people still don't watch them. They just react to them. But those are very easy to watch and to let pass. So as that thing comes up the well, instead of grabbing it, you just let it go by. You just let it, you don't feed it. You don't say anything to it. You just let it go by. And these are thoughts, and they move pretty slow. Then the second fastest thing that comes out of the well is this animal called emotions. And they come very quickly. And people will start to think those are very hard not to just reach out and grab and start living, to start embodying. Those are emotions, right? Rock hits your windshield. You're like, fuck. And you actually have a physical manifestation of it. Someone says a racial slur. That's what being triggered is. It's because you don't have something happens to you and you have an emotional response. And instead of letting it pass, you embody it. You let it live. It's like you're possessed, and you let it live through you. Like I said, none of this is true what I'm saying. This is just a paradigm for thinking, for understanding. And these things come in different levels, right? They're different intensities. Some thoughts are will be scary, some will be funny, and some emotions will feel good, and some will be, they come in a whole variety of colors and intensities. Then the third fastest thing that comes out of the well is these are physical responses. That's why like quitting nicotine is so hard, because there's a physical addiction to it. It's why I can't explain to you how to ride a bicycle, because what's happening that your body is responding to being on that bike or a balance board or on a super windy day or walking on a slack line. Here at this point, your thoughts and your emotions need to really get out of the way. And you have to be able to, something has to learn in you that most people are even remotely conscious that exists. And you can think of that as sort of the body mind. Swimming, walking, you see it in babies, like learning how to walk. This is a tremendous feat we've accomplished to get up on these feet. You really don't understand the miracle of walking until you see a baby try to learn how to walk. You're like, wow, this is crazy. the fourth fastest thing are these things that we call that moves at extremely quick speeds, are things that we take for granted as automatic. This is like digesting food, breathing, your heartbeat, and these are. You are at church. You are at church. When you feel like you're at church, you are at church. Watch that thought.
It
Okay.
is Sunday.
And when people say things like this is a psychoanalysis from a non-psychologist, what psychologists do is they don't watch those things. They're not interested in going deeper. They've been tricked. And what they are doing is, as these things come up from the well, they're labeling them. They're labeling them. There's this Taoist saying, I'm pointing at the moon and you're staring at my finger. These are people who've been hypnotized by the phenomenon instead of watching the phenomenon. They're reactors. And that's why there's this sort of this appeal to authority, but they're not doing anything. They're just labeling shit. And what I'm talking about has nothing to do with labeling shit. It's talking about, if you want to see a classic example of someone who's just asleep and just reacting to shit, to their thoughts and their emotions, watch the most recent. There's a 15-minute clip on YouTube of Joe Rogan talking to Derek from Plates and Dates. And
I saw that one.
And they're watching the Liver King apology. And you can just see Joe just straight asleep on autopilot. And what he's doing is things are coming out of the well and he's grabbing those things and he's labeling those things. And so that's it's supposed to be. I know I had to be in a certain place to share this. This isn't comfortable for me to share. I had lots of thoughts that were like, don't even try to explain this, Sevan. I just let them go. And so that is a tool you can use. That is a paradigm you can use to start looking at yourself and to start seeing and organizing how you have become a robot or just or so reactionary. That's why stillness is so important. Because what it does is it doesn't let you get tricked by these things like psychology or like labeling things. You can just let things go. And as you let things go, better things almost always arrive. Deeper, better, more powerful thoughts, feelings, emotions, automatic responses. I think the movement one is extremely powerful. And all of these things can be tested. You don't have to take my word. You don't have to. Good morning, Corey. You don't have to take my word on any of these things. You can test them with very simple tests. And the test I most often talk about is just lie down and don't react to anything. And watch thoughts pop up like, oh shit, is the stove on? Or, oh my God, I have an itch on my neck. And don't react to any of them. Just have your hands by your side and just watch these things. And watch all the noise and chatter jump up at you to try to get you to react. And that's basically a fantastic paradigm you can use to start examining yourself. It's extremely potent. It's as potent as the GHD. Go ahead. Sorry, Corey. 1 second. Sousa, go ahead.
No, I was only saying, have you ever seen this? Heard that Headspace before?
The app?
Yeah, you know what
No,
I'm
but
talking
about? I've seen it. I've heard amazing things about it. I have not used it. I've downloaded it like on every phone. Is it good?
It's almost like exactly what you were describing is the
Okay.
app. Like if you
Okay.
plug that in and you listen to it, it'll be like,
Yeah.
"Hi, welcome," and then it literally says like, "Thoughts come and go. There's no need to react to the thoughts. Just observe the thoughts, and when you feel your mind wander, just bring it back to your breath, and then realize you've attached to a thought, and then center yourself and go back to watching them as like cars driving by on the freeway." It's funny, just it almost sounded like you were in the same like voice and tonality, and like everything of it. So that's why it was good.
Waking up is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was very weird. It's a good app. Both of them are.
Oh, well, and even so, as you start cultivating this, Caleb says waking up, you can actually start realizing ways you can just trick your brain. So, or not trick your brain, but own your brain. So you'll start becoming powerful enough. I can just tell myself, I don't know if powerful enough's the right word, but I tell myself before I go to bed at night, hey, when you wake up, don't move. And my body will listen to me, and I'll wake up in the morning and I won't even move. My eyes won't even open anything. It like got the note, and I'll just be there, and I'll be like, holy shit, Sevan, here you are.
This
And
book
if I don't do that, I just sit up and start my day. Go ahead.
this is the same. This book is the same as what you were talking about as well too.
Emotional agility.
Emotional agility. Yes.
And I want to show you this. Along that line, I'll tell you someone just sent me. Darn it! Did I not save that?
Do we still have Corey on the line?
Oh, Corey, hi.
I'm just hanging out. I'm so enlightened. I have nothing but time.
Good.
None of this bothers me.
Okay, good.
I'm just letting it.
Yeah, just let all that nonsense I just said pass right over you. Thank you. How are
Well,
you?
while it's quiet, good, interesting question. I hope everybody's day started a little bit better than mine. I'm still great. I had a dog pass away this morning, so that was how I spent. Had to bury a dog
Oh,
in the backyard.
oh, what kind of dog?
It was one of our hound dogs.
Oh, was he a
yeah, it
working
was like-
dog? Was he a working dog?
No, it was a dog that we couldn't really acclimate to the rest of the dogs because it liked to fight a lot.
Yeah.
But my wife went to go feed the dogs, and I'm cooking breakfast for my daughter, and she comes in and almost tears and is like, so one of the dogs is dead. And so I had to
Did he die in
explain
a
to a
fight?
4-year-old.
Did he die in a fight?
No, it
Oh,
just
oh.
died in his sleep. And so I had to explain to my 4-year-old this morning as we're burying our dog death and all. So other than that, I'm still alive. I'm still here, still healthy. So today's still a great day.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Anything else?
But I got a question for you. So obviously, I called. So I think I want your thought. I want to see why you think people allow thoughts and emotions to flow over them easier than others. I truly believe at the end of the semester, so a couple days ago, one of my students asked me how I've become so enlightened. And I kind of had to giggle a little bit because I don't really even think that I am. I just think that through all of my adversity, I just have an ability to see the bigger picture, not take things for granted, understand it's not a huge deal when somebody cuts you off. But I don't think that a majority of the population sees stuff that way. So I'm curious to see, what's your take on that? What do you think allows people, or what are some of the things allowing these people to see some of that enlightenment and let things pass them over quicker than others?
At the bottom of that well is something that we call death. And one of the phenomenon of hitting rock bottom is one of the fantastic things about it that most people who make the journey don't, at least I didn't realize it was happening when I was hitting rock bottom, is there is a surrender that comes with it that makes it so you become steadfast and fuck my thoughts, fuck my emotions, fuck everything, and you surrender. And so you pass by all the thoughts, you pass by all the emotions. There's nothing in you anymore even worth living for. So you go into this almost like automatic preservation, deep meditation state. You don't care about moving, you don't care about any of those responses, you don't care about going to the bathroom, nothing. And then if you're lucky and you hit rock bottom, you have an encounter with this thing that we call death. I wish there was a better name for it. I guess some people call it God. And most people at that point will turn away because I don't know if that's not true. I don't know what most people do when they encounter that, but it's so fucking scary. And from there, you you get a glimmer at at eternity, and you, because you've abandoned yourself, you let yourself die, and you think you're going to die, because all of your tools of understanding what happens about death is that the dog gets buried in the backyard. But because you're 35 years old and just laying on a sidewalk somewhere, you don't die. And that's what's called, when I think you're reborn. And when you're reborn, all of that other shit you realize are just tools. That whole character that died, he actually doesn't die, but he's no longer a real person. You're no longer willing to defend any of those things intellectually, emotionally, or physically, because they're just, you saw the fallacy in them because you went to the bottom of the well. I'm missing a piece to really let people grasp this idea. And so adversity takes you down that well.
Well, you've said it before. It's like who we identify or attach ourselves to. So if we're just a vessel, if we're just a person, and death is knocking on our door, or the perceived death is knocking on our door, and that's getting ready to be swept from underneath us, it either crumbles us, or, like you said, you run away from it and fight from that adversity. Or I think where a lot of people don't get to discover this is failure. You know,
right?
With that significant failure that you've identified yourself as, when that's swept up from underneath you, you either come back fighting and become stronger, or it's exactly who everybody thought you were. And then you're just going to fail and never be thought of again. And it's exactly true. I mean, I've failed so many times. I think once you learn from that failure, it becomes a part of your identity, a part of your narrative. And then scary things don't become as scary as they once were. It's like going to an amusement park and hopping on that first roller coaster. The first one is scary, but after you do it 5 or 6 times, you know, you build a little bit of courage up inside of you. Almost nothing seems impossible, but without adversity or that facing of death, you've identified and attached yourself to something probably not real.
Another way I like to think about it, another paradigm, is think of each one of those minds I talked about in the paradigm: your thought, your emotion, your body, brain, and then the automatic shit. They're all just circles. And when the outside world sends you something, let's say your dog died today, and it starts going through those circles one at a time. And if something in your intellectual one, if it hits something in there, it'll trigger it and want to get it to react. And then if it passes through that one, or it could pass through all of them at the same time. But as it passes through those, whatever character traits you hold on to, it hits those. That's basically what being triggered is. Someone in their mind isn't willing to let go of the fact that, like, if someone called me a dumb Armenian, like inside of one of those circles, if I think of myself as Armenian, and I'm attached to that as a reality, I'm trying to make that illusion reality, it hits that, and then I triggered and I react. And so you're right. Something can hit something enough times, and eventually hopefully you'll let it go, right? And those are the steps to enlightenment. So it's like what you're saying. You get on the roller coaster the first time, and it hits something in there, some preconceived notion you have. And then eventually maybe you let that go, and then it just passes through. These are just things that, and then eventually they're done. Susan, can you play that clip I sent you in the text? This guy says it in a very different way, and he uses our sexes to help illustrate it. There is since I'm not a woman, I don't know, but I think that a woman's menstrual cycle and when she's bleeding is a very, very, very potent phenomenon that opens a door of opportunity for women every month that us men don't necessarily have. But let's go ahead and listen to this.
Story time. Over 30 years ago, during the height of mass incarceration, I was a third-year college student who got fucked up on bullshit and ended up doing a gang of time. One day when I first started doing my time, an old man walked me around the track. And he taught me a few things. And among the things he taught me was in the form of a question. And this is what he asked me. You know why these motherfuckers up in here like this here, don't you? I said, well, yeah, murder. And he said, no, murder might have been a charge, but that ain't the reason why they up in here. I said, well, what's the reason? And he said, for having bitch-ass ways on the street. What? These big swole gang banged out the game motherfuckers from every gang set in the state of California. What the fuck you mean by that? And then he said, let me explain. 90-something% of these dudes right here were raised by women. And as a result, they have female emotional tendencies. That don't make them gay, but it does make them dangerous. I said, what do you mean? And he said, because when you combine male masculinity with female emotional tendencies, you'll kill a motherfucker over how you feel. But you don't never kill a man over how you feel, because tomorrow you're not going to feel that way, but that motherfucker going to be just as dead, and you're going to be up in this camp looking at me. That's why when you get mad, the first thing you have to do is calm down and be quiet. And whatever you have to do after that, you do that shit calmly and quietly or not at all. But that's why these niggas is up in here. They're not in here because they was in danger. They in here because they was in their fucking feelings. I'm telling you some good shit.
So that's exactly what I said. That's not from the. I don't know that guy's name. That's not from the Russian philosopher P.D. Ouspensky or from the Buddha. That's from.
Or is it?
Oh yeah, maybe that guy is the maybe that is. But
But
there
whoever
it is.
carries the message. Whoever carries the message.
That's and so like when 9/11 happened, you could see that there was a collective unconsciousness that swept over the United States of America. COVID does the same thing. It basically just when you say something that so many people are reacting to, and fear is a powerful one, that it just puts them to sleep. And by sleep, I mean they're inside their brain reacting to shit instead of being outside in the world. It's kind of like when you touch those antlers on a snail and they go in, everyone just contracted. And so I remember when 9/11 happened, I was like, oh shit. Like all of a sudden, if you're not one of those people, you realize how alone you are in the world. You're like, wow, everyone just went inside and you're just kind of outside. But you can see it in a lot of places. As you start cultivating this awareness, you'll just be like in Whole Foods or at Disneyland or at Walmart, and you'll be like, holy fuck, everyone's asleep. So yeah, Corey, I think adversity is like a huge thing. That's why, by the way, that's one of the fantastic things about CrossFit, and it's so little talked about, if at all. The byproduct of putting yourself in oxygen deprivation is kind of like cheating yoga, because what happens is it makes you singular focused on something, and you start passing through levels of consciousness or different mind centers. When you use this paradigm that I'm proposing, you basically leave the intellectual one, you abandon it because it has no value for you at that point. You have to get into some of the other ones because you're trying to survive. And so it's kind of a self-inflicted path to enlightenment.
I got you. Or like there's more to your circle, more than just my life or what's going on. Like Caleb's over there in some undisclosed location, and we're over here drinking Starbucks.
Yes. Well, he's drinking the
Moac.
Yeah,
Moac.
He's drinking the Moac.
Moac.
Just waiting for my shipment. Paper Street. It'll get here eventually.
All right. I'll let somebody else call in. Love y'all.
Word. Thanks.
See you, Corey.
Bye.
Thanks, Corey.
Okay. Where were we?
I like that a lot. I think a lot of people, if they really take the time to listen to it and meditate on it, chew on the stuff you got, and the cool part about it is you could instantly apply it. Right when you turn this podcast off, you can go out into the world and instantly apply it. So next time, and this came from one of my buddies, it was like a paradigm shift moment. I was getting upset years back because somebody was just tailgating the shit out of me. And he kind of looks over and he could tell I'm just like staring up in the rearview mirror and I'm like adjusting, everything. And he goes, hey, you know what helps? And I go, what? And he smacks my mirror thing and he goes, remember, you're in control. They're behind you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. I guess you're right. I was only staring up at them and then reacting to what they were doing. But all along, if I just kept driving straight and didn't even look into the rearview mirror, I wouldn't have had to react to it. And then the second I saw him, I started spinning all those stories. What's this asshole doing? This guy's dangerous. This is pissing me off. I'm going to brake check him. And that had nothing to do. The path in front of me wasn't impeded at all. I go as fast or as slow as I want. I was in charge. But yet the second I started reacting, I completely gave up that control.
And you have rules. You had rigid rules about what you expect from everyone around you while you're driving.
Yep. And then I was going to play the asshole because I was going to slow down. I was going to brake check. I was going to fuck with them. And then so now this person who even knows the situation, right? For all I know, they're not even paying attention. They might look up and go, oh, I didn't realize it was even so close. And now my whole existence is dependent on screwing with this person behind me because I felt that I was wrong somehow. And all along, I could have just kept driving or even just gotten over. But yet it totally consumed my thoughts. And then therefore, once it consumed my thoughts, it controlled all my actions. So I don't know. That's great stuff. That's cool.
That's why the fight game is. Go ahead, Caleb. Go ahead.
We've been having like an office. It's getting to the point where everybody's like getting really irritated with each other. You know, like
you're one giant married couple.
Yeah, exactly. Just a massive married couple out here. So, and like everybody basically, yeah. Everybody's just like been sitting around each other for like 12 plus hours a day because we don't have fucking shit else to do. And we get phone calls like regularly from people like, hey, can I get this? Hey, can I, whatever. So we only have one front desk staff and they'll like answer the phone pretty regularly. But sometimes the phone will ring into our room and like there's probably 4 or 5 of us in that room at one time. So like it's easy for us to like just pick it up if they're busy or they don't answer or whatever it is. Yesterday, this one of the guys.
I love this story already that there's a phone that rings that I just love this story.
So we just like, yeah, just what's up kind of thing. But this like yesterday, a phone rang and they're like, hey, can you forward me to so-and-so? And I was like, yep, no problem. But I forgot how to forward people on their phones because I just don't bother to learn it. If somebody else will do it. But it's like my fault because I'm not learning how to do it. So I had to go ask somebody and I was like, hey man, do you mind if you help me like forward this phone call? And he's like, well, why didn't the front desk staff just open it or answer the phone in the first place? And we're like, dude, I don't know. Like just the phone has been answered. I've just begun the conversation. He goes, this has been going on for a really long time. I can't believe that we're talking about this right now. We need to disconnect these phones. I don't know why we have to answer the phone. This is their only job. And I'm like, hey man, like there's somebody on hold right now. And you have been having this conversation with me and arguing with somebody else for the last like 2 or 3 minutes. This gentleman's on hold. And I'm like, dude, just like this is unnecessary. Like, and another guy was like, hey man, like maybe they're just busy up there. Like maybe they have something going on. Like you cannot attach yourself to this like thought that everybody is just fucking slighting you or like out to get you or like dude, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Just answer the phone. Help me fucking transfer it because I'm a dipshit and fucking move on. You've just now wasted 5 minutes of your life on this fucking dumbass discussion about whether or not somebody at the front should be answering your phone. Like, why are you? What happened?
Yeah.
He just like got really heated and he's like, okay, well now you got to press hold and then you got to transfer it for me. And then he goes, hey, I'm transferring somebody, and they hung up and and then he was just like mad the rest of the day. Like, dude. Ew.
Yeah.
It wasn't a civilian, by the way.
You describe this kind of person who thinks that everyone's out to get them, and it's so. Those people are the hardest for me to be around.
I did that for a while. I'm going to be honest. I was that way for probably like 21 to 24. I just thought everybody was fucking sliding me. Somebody was out to get me regardless.
Yeah.
Somebody was gonna slam on the brakes and be like, I'm gonna swerve around you and drive like an asshole and slow down in front of you. Like I was gonna be that guy. But it's just not worth it. Not if it's worth it.
It's not. People get like that, really like that around money. Like, they get like that with real estate agents. Like always, like. And at some point, it's just like life's so much better to just not. Like, just if your real estate agent wants 3% and you don't want to give them 3%, just be chill and just say, hey, can I give you 2%? Or then just like, don't just realize, hey, this dude's just doing his job and pay him.
They got to make money too somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like no one's trying, like, well, I shouldn't say no one's trying to fuck anyone, but you're definitely getting fucked just with those thoughts. You're fucking yourself.
Oh, because then you're just sitting with that energy for like so much longer than is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You just like ruined your day because you were mad about somebody not answering the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
buddy, come on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I really like what that message that guy is giving. And basically what he's doing is, once again, he's going to the root. And when you go to the root, it's fascinating. Other people just want that shit labeled, but really they're just being distracted. And those are all the people like who put all their faith in doctors instead of their own cognitive skills or into teachers. And I'm not saying that they don't have value, but there is a deeper, more potent way of doing things in the world. And those people are hypnotized by their knowledge of just labeling shit that comes out of the well. And it's like, at some point, it's like, what's the point?
What does it matter?
Yeah. What does it matter?
It exists.
Yeah. And you can get past it. And so I was just trying to think, man, how can I explain I was just trying to imagine if I met that guy, how I could explain to him how wrong he has it. Anyway. And then this morning while I was taking a deuce, I saw this guy talk about it, and I'm like, oh wow, this guy fucking nails it.
That's the thinking seat right there. Yeah, the book that I showed, Emotional Agility, talks about it the same way you do, but in the term and using the same well analogy as it comes up. Yeah, she labels it, but once she labels it, she goes, "We've labeled it, now shelf it. Don't react to it. Like you've been like, okay, I'm angry, move it over."
Almost like sequester it and take it out in the yard and put it down, like
well,
Corey's dog.
Well, naming is the origin of all things, right? So if you can name it, then you've separated you and yourself from it, and then therefore you could shelf it, and then you could move on. Like, hey, this thought made me angry. I don't need to become an angry person. This was just an angry thought. Now that I've sat with it, I could set aside, don't need to react.
That's why fighting is so fascinating. Because you have to react, but you can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then you're in this wicked fucking crazy paradox. Like when you watch fighters. Yeah. And ideally that too. That too, right? I mean, you have to be I guess at some point you just have to trust the process that the training got you to where you're at. And that's what's so fascinating about Israel Adesanya. I mean, and all those guys who are fighting at that crazy high level.
Yeah, I mean that's why they train the way they do, especially like in the SEAL teams and in the like special operating. Like they drill it to the point because you're only gonna like default to the highest level of training you have.
Right.
Like nothing new is gonna happen there. It's all gonna descend to chaos, and the only thing that you're gonna have is just that repetitive steps that you've taken in your training to really solidify. Like, can you still get it done when everything's going to shit? And same with fighting, right? Like if your jiu-jitsu isn't solid and someone takes you down and you're getting punched in the face and you don't know how to get yourself to half guard or to full guard and how to do that damn near blind
automatically,
chaos, like
yeah,
it's too late. You're not going to learn it there. You're just going to get pummeled.
Even yesterday when Jamie Simmons did that, she got stuck in the hole. And I saw her just, instead of trying to get out of the hole, she directly using her legs, she started working on the bar. I was like, fuck, she's brilliant.
Yeah, I got that oscillation going and popped out there. That was great.
Yeah, and she starts pushing the bar back.
Reps, nothing but reps gets that.
I give you an example of something else that's just, I don't know if it's manipulative or what's going on, but yesterday during the UFC fights, it was like Cancer Week, right? And they put so many ads about cancer, like Chris Weidman's like nephew is dying of cancer, and they did like a 5-minute little piece on him, or he's maybe not dying of cancer, but he's fighting cancer. And then they talked about like this. It's this one black guy who used to work at ESPN who died of cancer, and they keep talking about him. And then they show this other guy, and they're showing all this stuff. And I'm thinking, what if you would have taken that cumulative 20 minutes of emotional cancer talk, and instead for 20 minutes said, don't eat added sugar for the highest value of behavior to avoid any chronic disease. But they don't. Those pieces are pointless. Those pieces, as beautiful as they are and as emotional as they make you feel, they're pointless. And I saw crazy shit in the commercials. They're showing kids in cancer and with cancer in hospitals and sitting next to their beds adjacent are jars of or bottles of Gatorade.
Mm.
And I'm just thinking of just how does anyone? Yeah. I really like Dana White and I like the UFC organization. I wish I didn't have to use them as the example too. I do like them, but it's like the YouTube thing when someone's like, "Hey, you're an asshole. You don't know what you're talking about." Well, in that same time you wrote that, you could have told me the truth. You know, like the Packers won the Super Bowl in 1957. You're a fucking idiot. Well, how about you just say no? They won it in 1958. And then all that time you told me all these sad stories of people dying with cancer. You could have just told me, program me with lifestyle things to not get cancer. And so I just see it as a giant a miss. And then in my more conniving mind, I see, or less nice mind, I start going to the place like these people don't really care. They don't fucking care. A matter of fact, it's worse than they don't care. They don't want to offend their Sprite sponsor. And then I started going to the place of look at all the people that are bought. I know you guys probably all know the story of Gabe, Paper Street Coffee, and how we met. He reached out and said, "Hey, I want to send you money for your podcast. I have a small coffee company." I said, "I already drink Good Dudes." He said, "I don't care what you say about my coffee." I go, "What if," he goes, "I'm going to send you some." I go, "What if I hate it?" He goes, "Then tell people." I'm like, oh, this guy's fucking checkmating my shit. I go, okay, but just so you know, I'm a Good Dudes coffee guy. And I'm probably going to stay with Good Dudes, even though they don't pay me any money. So he sends the coffee, and it's those little tiny brown beans that look like the ones that don't look all fucked up and tarry and shit. I started drinking the coffee. I'm like, wow, this stuff's really strong. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Never had Good Dudes again.
Yeah, right. And so when people betray themselves, right? Or they at least let us know, they're like, "Hey, Sevan, if you talk like that, you're never going to get any sponsors." And as much as I want money and I want sponsors, it's like I don't want to have to like not tell the truth. That's kind of the only thing I have. I don't know. I'm not Brian Friend. I don't know all the other stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I know. What Sevan would have said. Jeffrey loves Josh. I love Josh too. I mean, I'm not dissing Good Dudes at all. I'm not even saying that Paper Street Coffee is better. I'm just saying that it's great coffee. I fucking love it. It might be better. And I just love that Gabe was like, "Hey, I don't care. I like your message and I want to support it." So that's that. Where's my loyalty? It's to Gabe.
Yeah, I was gonna say right where it needs to be, Paper Street Coffee. Although I randomly did have this like I was like right as I woke up, I had this weird panic like, oh, we didn't do what we needed to do for our live podcast at Josh's PAM camp. It was like this weird thought that crossed my like, and I don't even know how that happened because there's like obviously we have nothing planned, but I like for some reason thought that there was something I needed to do to set up our live at the PAM camp.
Well, I would like to I would like to have him on. He does have a PAM camp coming up, and I would like to have him on and talk about it. And of course, you guys know I fucking love Josh to death.
Yeah,
and he's probably one of the best guests any podcast could ever have.
Yeah.
So last night I was at last night I went to the owner of California Hormones house, and we were hanging out, and she has kids and my kids, and they were playing. It was adorable. And we put on the fights, and we were just hanging out, and she told me she did Seal Fit, and she finished it.
The Kuroku camp or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And we
like
were looking
72 hours, yeah.
I don't know. It looks horrible. But
Yeah.
she did it. She did it with 3 female games athletes, big ones.
Oh, when like Kristen Clever did it and like Katie Hogan and stuff way back in the day.
I don't want to say who because I don't know if it's not because I'm going to say something else. And she said those girls were amazing. She said they were so great, so nice, So, but she beat 3 of them in Murph. All 3 of them in Murph. Yeah, it looks horrible.
Yeah,
she said it was
yeah.
absolutely horrible. She said you couldn't pay her $1 million to do it again. I said, do you guys have a big party afterwards? She goes, no, you're so chafed you can't even walk.
Yeah. I had a guy who worked there that would drop into the gym frequently, and he was talking about it, and I had asked him about it because years back I wanted to go to it, but I just couldn't afford it. Like it's like I think that one said it was $3,400 at the time I was looking at it. It was probably like $2,100 or $2,500. And he goes, yeah, after like the 5th person tried to sue us because they wanted a refund because they got spit out in the first hour, we had to change the curriculum a little bit. He goes, it's still good, but it's watered down.
She said she said I mean
Classic.
she did this probably the hard one. She said there's absolutely, the men and women are treated 100% the same. They do everything the same. And she says, my words, not hers, but maybe they even talk more shit to the women. And she said it's really, 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 really bad.
Yeah, but
She said, I think she said half. Yeah, she probably 10 years ago. She said half the people don't finish.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was
yeah.
the issue. Yeah, that was the issue with it. And that was what the gentleman who worked there at SealFit was telling me, was that when they first started, their attrition rate was ridiculous, like to get through the actual 50 hours. And then they had to start adjusting it. But the whole claim used to be the hardest crucible for civilians, because it was all ran by BUDS instructors, like retired BUDS instructors.
Can you imagine signing up for SealFit and then suing them?
Is that like an oxymoron?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that everyone who does that, at least if I were to try to do it, it's because I'm too much of a pussy to join the United States military, but I want to dabble.
But you want to test yourself to see.
Yeah.
I
don't want to. I don't want to be gay, but I just want to give you a handy. Let me just give you a handy and just see how I like it.
Just see if I can make it to the end. That's all.
Yeah, let me just see.
And I always wonder if they're like, oh yeah, I could be a SEAL because I finished SEALFit.
Yeah. And then you realize you can't even do the fake one, and you get pissed and sue them. It's like, it doesn't even fucking make sense to me.
We don't want you, buddy, at all.
You can't even make the fake one. You can't even make the weekend getaway.
It was too hard. That's the whole point of that thing.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
So you can experience what it's like to but without getting shot at, because you're a pussy. I'm not going to open mouth kiss that guy. I'm just going to jerk him off and then go about my way. I'm not gay. It's like, I don't get it.
It's like they had that thing on Discovery Channel years back. It's like that's the one step above just watching that on repeat for a long time.
Which one? Say that again. Sorry,
they had like Class 234, I think it was, or something like that on Discovery Channel, and it was a long documentary on bits and parts that they would show from BUDS training. So it's like, that's step 1. Watch that like 5 or 6 times. Step 2, then go to the SealFit camp. Step 3, sue them.
Yeah. The guys in the military do that shit every day. That you just got 50 hours and now you're suing.
Yeah.
Hey, I bet you. I would be curious to see how many people have sued special forces, like the train up to it, for not making it. Like you didn't make it through BUDS, so you
sign your life away. I think, right?
Yeah, I don't think that you can.
They come to your house and beat your ass if you do that.
I think they're just like, you're lucky that you are allowed to like get out or like find another job.
Yeah.
Because I think you find, I want to say you sign a piece of paper if you quit or like get med drop or something like that.
Yeah, still in the Navy for
like
4 years.
Yeah, like you say like, I will no longer allowed to. There's like options on there, at least. So when I went through combat rescue officer selection, like a long time ago, they gave me a paper when I got med dropped, and they said like, hey, you just signed this one that says I'm allowed to come back of my own volition, but the other options were I voluntarily dropped, and I'm no longer allowed to attempt any special warfare selection for the rest of my life. Another one was like, I I was at failure to train, and I'm not allowed to attempt any further selection from here on out. And there's like, they just give you some options, but you can't like say, they didn't give me the chance. They're like, no, we got receipts, buddy. Like, they keep the receipts. Like, you quit.
From the little bit that I know from the people I've talked to and the books I've read, that if you try to become like one of these things, like a pararescue or a SEAL or a Marine Recon, and you fail, shit gets bad for you. Like, you get a job like taking out the trash and people shit on you.
I got really lucky, but yeah,
which is kind of weird, right?
You go either from the top.
You try from the highest level, and then all of a sudden you got
yeah, and which is great. They send all their like best candidates to be fucking boat painters or like janitors or like cooks and shit.
Yeah,
because those guys. I mean, if you give them a job that like they want, which I don't know if there's like some like SEAL like mental shit that they put into this, but if you give them a job that they want, they'll probably be the best person at that job.
Like a CrossFitter. In the Navy, if you quit, you're given a list of shittiest jobs the Navy has to offer to pick from. Austin Hart.
Exactly.
Mr. Vowell, hi.
How you guys doing?
Good.
I love this conversation. I think you and Susan need to do a whole episode on emotional intelligence, because I think he has a lot to say and a lot of knowledge. It sounds like, anyway.
I agree.
I need to walk across the U.S.
Across the U.S.
But listen, I earned mine. Sousa had his through huffing paint during his graffiti days, and somehow he became wise. Two different paths.
Hey, I got lots of stories in the back pocket. We just don't go there usually.
I just love hearing from people who have experiences or have read a ton of books, and they have their own methods of going about like achieving emotional intelligence and dealing with harder situations and not letting your emotions take over, like you were talking about earlier in the episode. And a lot of times the people with the most insightful information are not those that are psychologists or, doctors. And I know it's a common thing to say now. You're not a doctor. What do you know?
A psychologist is an expert on the box of crayons. An artist is fucking the guy who did the fucking Mona Lisa. It's like
that's a great analogy.
And they try to act like they're experts in the field, but like, hey, dude, you just know how to sharpen crayons and you know which color goes where in the box. And it's like, dude, like your skill, when the artist is working, don't like worry about his skills. Like, shut the fuck up, stay in your lane. And they don't. The two have been conflated. So. Did you watch the fights?
No, I didn't.
Missed
the fights last night.
Change diapers instead.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't. I called just because I wanted to touch on something with the military, and it kind of ties into the comment that you the DM that you got from the gentleman yesterday or the other day, basically saying that he's not going to listen to you anymore.
Oh yeah, did I say that guy? I don't know if that guy was from the military.
No, I'm just going to kind of
okay.
tie in a couple of things with that.
Okay, please.
When you go through the military, when you go through boot camp, they try to make it intense and as possible. Every moment of your day, they want to make it just crazy intense, and they're yelling in your face and blah blah blah. They're forcing you to deal with pressure situations, especially in situations where you don't necessarily know the next step or the next avenue to go down. You don't know what's yet to come in front of you. And the purpose of that is because, well, if you get into combat, shit's going to be a little crazy. So you have to be able to react and perform correctly, no matter how intense it is or how chaotic it may be. So what they're training you to experience is that if you can't deal with somebody yelling in your face and pressuring you and like faster, let's go. If you can't deal with that, how are you going to deal when shit hits the fan? And so that's kind of partly the reason why they do that. When I was in high school, and it continues on throughout the military as well, like this creates that culture of, you get your platoon sergeant or your anybody ahead of you really can yell at you at any given time. I mean, imagine your boss in the civilian world motherfucking you. Like that kind of stuff just doesn't happen, but it's common practice typically in the military. When I was in high school, my coach was a former Marine. He was a bit brash, and he had a very powerful voice, a lot of volume and a lot of swear words, and he didn't care what the parents thought. But he would motherfuck us in a game if we did something stupid. If we did something stupid, if we made an error, that wasn't a big deal. That happens. But if we did something stupid, like throw the ball to the wrong base, I mean, it was a bad day, especially afterwards. And our assistant coach would always walk up to us after one of those bouts of colorful words and how he felt about us. He would always walk up to us afterwards and say, "Listen to the message, not the tone." And that always stuck with me, even through the military, because I realized the message is far more important than the delivery. It's like your analogy of saying, "Hey, motherfucker, what are you doing, dumbass? You're about to run off a cliff." And we get so hung up on the volume and the words that you said to me. Oh my God. So we're almost insulting our own intelligence by letting our emotions take from the actual message, which actually holds most of the importance.
That's the going back to that phrase, I'm pointing at the moon and you're staring at my finger. It's also, the cousin of ad hominem. You hate the messenger. And it's like, why are you even going there? Because people go there because they think it's about them. That's the whole thing with the Liver King too. On the deepest level, people think it's about them.
I think we're making ourselves dumb with those situations as well.
For sure.
Well,
I don't know if dumb's the word, but we're missing opportunity. Everyone that's upset at him is missing an opportunity. It's like,
certainly,
you're missing the opportunity. Goes back to woman's menstrual cycle every month. There's an opportunity there for them. Yeah, people just miss opportunities, and you'll keep getting those opportunities, whether you want them or not.
To the gentleman that messaged you that, I appreciate your response to it. By the way, you very much listen to the message. That
I feel him. I feel him in my feelings. Everything he's saying is true.
Sure.
But intellectually, intellectually, in the deep fields of truth, everything he's saying is completely wrong. But I feel him, and so I said I just wanted to acknowledge him, and he took the time to type it out.
Sure. Yeah. And he, so like you said, he has a point. There is and if he doesn't just want to listen to certain brash things and wants to only listen to, Jordan Peterson, like, fair enough. Right. I guess this isn't the podcast for you. I don't think that I think that if we're going to make statements publicly, we should try to button it up and cut the fat and say our point with immense amount of accuracy, with little words as possible, with as few words as possible. If you're going to make a statement, this is a podcast. And I think a lot of times yourself, guests, people calling in, we're working through thoughts. So they don't always have to be so buttoned up. And I really like the things that your delivery system in particular, I think you're plenty smart enough to deliver these messages with proper elocution and straight to the point, few amount of words, and get your point across. But you do that, in lieu of all those fancy words and the $10 words. It's for entertainment, and that's the kind of guy you seem to be. Is just like, you like to have the fun and be a little bit brash, and to me, I appreciate those angles too, because I can actually relate to that more than a lot of times when Jordan Peterson's speaking.
Yeah, like it's funny you say that, Val, because when I this morning, when I was thinking about what the show is going to be about this morning, and I started thinking maybe I should try to talk to him about PD Ouspensky. It wasn't until 5 minutes later that I saw this guy who went to, that we said that he went to jail, out of college. I was like, oh shit, this is a perfect illustration. The same thing I'm trying to say, but he says it the brash way. And like, I'm totally okay with that.
And I think we need those multiple systems of delivery. That way we can reach more people. I mean, Sousa has probably read in all reality, like the same book 80 times, but they're just different authors,
Right.
different writers,
Right.
different perspectives, but ultimately probably through and through similar messaging.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
This guy, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was the guy named Krishnamurti, but they said, why have you written, or what's your goal with these 70 books you've written? And he goes, I just try to say the same thing over and over in different ways.
Yeah.
And that,
Wow.
you know, that's part of what CrossFit was too. It's the truth. And so Greg just spent his time just trying to say it over and over in different ways.
Right. Wow. That's, yeah.
The truth can just be said over and over. You can make a whole life of just telling the truth, but and just reworking your shit.
Your approach, yeah.
But I'd like to mention something as well. With
Okay, go ahead.
Delivery system.
Yeah.
With the delivery system, it was interesting though. In the military, there is quite a bit of yelling and motherfucking and this and that. It's fascinating to see. There's always somebody who's completely even keeled and never loses their cool and knows how to speak to his subordinates. Typically seems to always be the best leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, have you read this book, The Longest Shot by Craig Harrison?
I have not.
You got to. I don't know if you got to, but man, that's
a long one, right?
Yeah, the audiobook's so good though. You will not want to put it down. I feel like a 5-year-old kid listening to it. It's so good, but that's exactly for him. It's all the guys who are calm that most, like, you can see most strongly affected him. And he went through some shit, man. He even went AWOL at one time and tried to join the Foreign Legion. He ran out of his unit and went to the Foreign Legion and tried to join. And then the Foreign Legion found out that he went AWOL and they sent him back. And he had to the book is, I can't even believe the book is real. And it's got all the shit, you know, with like no mom, no dad. Everyone hates him. Hey, you know, one of the nutty things, I'm switching subjects here, but one of the nutty things is in that interview with, right after that interview I saw for like 15 minutes with Joe Rogan and Derek from Plates or No Dates, the one that was done yesterday. And I was in here, my workout yesterday, by the way, this is a pretty good workout if you're sick. I took a 30-pound dumbbell and I did 5 thrusters in one hand and 5 thrusters with the other hand. And I did that on the minute for 20 minutes. And it was pretty good. So you end up doing 200 thrusters in 20 minutes. And so the video went to Mr. Beast, a 15-minute clip with Joe Rogan and Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is this 23-year-old kid who has 200 million subscribers throughout his, you know, variety of YouTube channels. And at one point, Joe Rogan says, when I was in high school, I thought I was going to be a loser and I wasn't going to amount to anything. And then I saw it, because he kind of has the same story as the Liver King. It's these dudes who are just tremendously insecure, but they use that insecurity just to fucking grind and prove something to the world. But part of me also thinks that maybe Joe Rogan thinks that maybe he's better than Liver King, not consciously, but because he has been clean about his, you know, he's holier than thou because he has told the world he's all juiced up. You know, he set himself free and he forgot about that process. But I'm sure at some point, I would be curious to ask him, like, how long were you doing it before you came out, before you felt free? Anyway.
That documentary, Stutz, the one I was talking about a couple days ago.
What's it called?
Stutz.
Uh-huh.
It's about Jonah Hill interviewing his therapist on like therapy, essentially, and like how he therapies people. I don't know how that works, but he talks about that, about how you have like a shadow of yourself, and like that shadow is like all the things that you don't like, that you don't want the world to see.
Yeah.
And like how to manage that in your life, essentially, or like how you become friends with the shadow, or how you react to the shadow. And when people bring that up, how you're detached from it, or how you like appreciate those parts of your life instead of like hiding them away from everybody. Like how you see yourself as like this obese kid when you're younger, the one who got bullied, the one who couldn't stand up for themselves. But like now that you're older, you need to like nourish it and like appreciate it and live with it. Essentially, it's interesting.
So what did you call it? Shadow what?
I think it's called the Dr. Stutz, the therapist, he calls it your shadow.
It's so funny you say that. It's so funny when people address your shadow. So I was at the beach with these 3 other couples. So it was me and my wife and these 3 other couples. And all the husbands there had the nicest bodies. And they were all probably like 10 years younger than me. Still old though. You know what I mean? Still like 40-year-old dudes.
Mhm.
We were the last ones to get there, and everyone's laid out. The guys are laid out. The girls are laid out. And everyone's in their bathing suits, including my wife. And I'm the last person who I haven't taken off my shirt yet.
Got around that second beer.
And I take off my shirt, and one of the ladies goes, "Oh my God, look at Sevan's dad bod." Like, she talks straight to my fucking shadow.
Yes.
She
Yes,
talks straight to
exactly.
my shadow. I was like, who are you talking to? It's fucking crazy. But I have some like real issues to where like I loved it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, maybe it's the CrossFitter in me, but I just loved how much it hurt. I was like, oh fuck. It's like
Damn,
climbing
you really
over
hit
a
a nerve.
wall. Yeah. Holy
It's like you didn't know
shit.
that was something that would bother you. And then
Oh, I
somebody
knew
said
it would
something about
bother
it.
me. I just didn't think anyone
Yeah.
would say it. I thought everyone would I'm sure everyone would like avert their eyes and shit.
I thought we were cool, guys.
Yeah.
But this bitch just fucking blasted me. Oh my God, look at Sevan's dad bod.
We were cool.
Fuck you.
Then one of the ladies, then I was out there playing Frisbee, and a few minutes later, one of the ladies is like, "You have really nice shoulders." I'm like, "It's too late. I'm stuck in the shadow. You just shut the fuck up. I'm a shadow guy."
Yeah, that's right. Big
Yeah,
butter. Got it.
exactly. Grab a beer. I know. Trust me. But part of me just loves the, I just love the pain. I just live for the challenge. You know what I mean? It's like, oh fuck, I had to climb this wall right now. All right. You have no choice at that point but to let go.
Mhm.
You cannot act like a jackass and act like you. I'd probably like grab my tits or something, be like, "You want to feel it?" Or I probably did. Like, I lean into it every time. There's
got
no, yeah. It's so stupid to fight
Feel
it.
Oh my goodness.
So stupid to fight it. I've been looking at ice baths, and I was and
Is
I'm
Dylan still on the phone?
Oh, Dylan, are you on the phone?
Yes.
Okay, I'm hanging up on you.
All right. See you guys.
Love you, buddy. I've been looking at
Bye,
ice
Dylan.
baths, and every time I look at an ice bath, I'm like, oh fuck. Like, most people be afraid to get into it because it's cold. I'm like, I'm gonna have to make a video with my shirt off and get in. How am I gonna do that?
No, just leave it. Just leave it on. It's fine.
We'll just wear a white one.
Yeah.
It makes it colder. Something.
Get you like a double XL white one. You're good to go.
Yes.
You got a little video magic, a little camera magic. Just get those angles right. Like, why is it a drone shot every time he gets in the thing?
Yeah. I like it. Hey, how come we can't see you and the camera's all shaky? Because I put the GoPro on the back of my dog. Sorry. I don't have anyone.
Cut when you're in there.
Yeah.
Cut when you're in there.
Sit. sit.
I think I'm one of those people that will howl when they get in.
Oh my God.
Oh, Under Armour compression shoes. Yeah, that's gonna look good on me. Let me tell you, 49% of the reason I can't stand Noble is because their clothes they're made for beautiful bodies. They're not made for me. They're not made for like dudes who are shaped like me who came out of caves just 100 years ago. 289, Australia. This is interesting. Someone mentioned this yesterday on the show, and I looked it up. I want to say this is positive, but here's the thing. If the government fines you for something and then gives you the money back, those are just people. So that whole process actually costs you money. So the government fines me $1,000 because I'm outside during COVID, and now they're giving the money back. I'm still paying for it. I had to pay the guy who fined me. I pay his bill. I pay him because he works for me. Then I have to pay the person who has to give it back to me. Then I have to fill out all the paperwork. The whole entire thing is crazy. Australia to withdraw or refund tens of thousands of COVID fines. And like, this is supposed to make me happy. It's so weird. The things, it's It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough to set the slaves free. You have to also write down that will never happen again. Australia's largest state will withdraw or refund tens of thousands of fines issued during the COVID pandemic after government lawyers, those are your lawyers, conceded on Tuesday that some fines were invalid in a test case brought by a legal advocacy group. Australia states and territories instituted strict restrictions during the pandemic, including limits of travel and movement outside of the home. Police in New South Wales, the largest state, could issue fines of 1,000 Australian dollars to individuals who breached the public health order. So I guess they're giving back tens of thousands of these fines, but it's just, I don't know. No, I'm definitely not for reparations. That's that's more enforcement of racism. That's all that is. Just enforcing more. Anyway, so I don't know how to take this. This is like, I guess part of me wants to be like, okay, good. It's a good first step, but we need like 10 steps. Like Australia needs to be like, how about holding the people accountable who let that by in the first place and let that happen to the citizens? Like if you try out for SEALs and you don't make it and you quit and you have to sign something that says you'll never do it again, someone who's in government who finds its people illegally should just be taken out of office and never be allowed to run again.
Yeah, but there's just no accountability for our government.
Yeah, that seems fair. I'm not saying that you have to hurt these people.
No,
they're not made for this job.
Yeah.
They're not made for this job.
Wasn't a fit.
Yeah.
Did you see the Pentagon failed their latest audit? They could only account for like 31 or 40% of their spending.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, like the lion's share of the money they got, they're like, we don't really know where that went.
Weird.
Yeah. But yet now $600 on
what are you telling me?
It's like,
you not see this?
This is insane.
Yeah.
How could they don't know what happened to the money?
What's insane?
It's fifth failed audit.
The fifth time. What's insane too is that you have this massive avalanche of cash that's given for stuff, but yet you just don't even see where it goes or what happens with it or anything being improved. Just
the Pentagon fails its fifth audit in a row. If the Defense Department can't get its book straight, how can it be trusted with a budget of more than $800 billion?
$800 billion of our future dollars.
Oh, let me say this really quick before we go into this to give you an idea of it. So there's approximately 1,070,000 doctors in the United States of America, and $20 billion $20 billion is spent by pharmaceutical companies to market to those doctors. You understand that? So let me explain one more time. There's 1 million doctors basically in the United States.
Yeah.
And billboard and pharmaceutical companies reach out to them with a wallet of $20 billion to influence them, not with like data or stats or not like that.
No, it's dinners and bottles
that's
of wine.
Another. Yes.
And
it's $20,000 per doctor.
Wow.
So don't ever allow anyone to say that doctors know. They're bought just like all the athletes.
Yep.
They're bought just like all the other athletes. And I'm not saying that with any judgment. I'm just saying as a component of awareness. Caller, hi. Okay, you can pull that back up again, Caleb. Let's look at what the fuck's going on over at the Pentagon. Why don't they just say it's top secret? Go ahead, caller. Sorry.
In British Columbia, they just passed a bill that I think it's Bill 36, that basically the governing schools that have the certifications for chiro, massage, kinesiology, all these, naturopathic schools or whatever, health clinics in British Columbia, that now the governing body is overseen by the government, that if they now want those people to be triple, quadruple vaxxed, they have to oblige now. That just got passed the other day without any version of debate. They passed it through the other day.
I want to explain this to you. This is a great point. The caller, thanks for bringing this up. I want to tell you what a chiropractor is, because I didn't know. I thought it was just someone who like cracks your bones and shit. I want to read the definition of chiropractor to you guys so you know. A practitioner of the systems of integrative medicine based on the diagnosis and manipulative treatment of misalignments of the joints. I don't think that's what it is. Hold on. What exactly does a chiropractor do? A chiropractor is trained to make sure your body is functioning optimally by using spinal manipulations. God, that's not what I'm looking for. But basically, my understanding from more and more chiropractors that I speak to is they believe the body can heal itself. At its foundation, that is their philosophy. And so if you have a chiropractor who's asking you to take drugs, that should fucking, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it should raise the big antenna. Any kind of drugs, right. It should raise the antenna. A chiropractor, the way the body heals itself is by taking things away from the body. Stop washing your body with Drano. Stop smoking cigarettes. Stop eating fucking charred meat. Like they'll remove stuff from you probably. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's crazy. That's also why any of these gurus like Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, any of them that were proponents of the vaccine, that's not the way the mind works. Someone in stillness never sees the vaccine as the way out. They don't. I'm not saying they would never take the vaccine. I'm just saying they would never be preaching it. And you can know that yourself if you start watching how the mind works. Because telling someone to do that does not come from a place of stillness. Going back to what we originally said in the show. It does not. If you have a question, the most profound question ever, you can sit with it and you will get the answer. Is there a God? Just ask yourself that 3,000 times over the next 2 weeks. You will get the answer. Should I take the vaccine? Ask yourself that 3,000. You have to, you can trust yourself. Just keep asking. We'll put you.
Yeah, I hope you get a medical professional in from Canada to talk on your show pretty openly. That'd be great.
What tell me and what was the point of it? I'm sorry, it went over my head. What should I ask him? Just like, why are so many doctors are dying? Have you seen how many doctors are dying in Canada? Young doctors?
I haven't heard anything really, to be honest. It's, my view on it is
bullshit, by the way. I always think it might be bullshit. Young doctors.
My thing is this: when they talk about the doctors or young people or even soccer players dying on the field, where's the video? Yeah. We have video for everything in this world. If there's a scuffle in the back of the UFC, we see video. Right. If there's a scuffle in a locker room, we see video because everybody has a phone. So where's the video on all these guys dying?
Hey, that's why
if a major soccer player died on the field, we'd all see the video on CNN or wherever. And I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm just saying, where's the video? Because if somebody died on a soccer field or hockey, ice, or anything, we'd see the video. And why is it soccer and not football?
That's why I like TMZ so much as a news source, because they always show you the shit. It's like Suge Knight runs someone over, and then you click the video, and like you're like, oh, there he ran someone over.
Right. Like I'm not vaxxed, and I'm proud to be not vaxxed.
Wait, you're Canadian and you're not vaxxed?
You're right. There's a majority of us. It's not talked about, but there's a lot of us.
I guess tell me more. Sorry, I just got my Dubai thread that said that Brent Fikowski just got the first no rep of the that event is amazing. Yeah, that's crazy. Was there a lot of, what do you do for a living? Can you tell me?
Yeah, so I'm a strength and conditioning coach also, but also I work because basically the gyms got shut down. So now I work for a company called Sunripe. So Sunripe is unfortunately a juice company. So we do orange juice, apple juice, wild berry, all that stuff, and all these little food products that are made of sugar. So I run heavy machinery and forklift in that on my off time.
And are you a CrossFitter?
100%. Put it this way, I'm OG CrossFitting back in the day when Kristen Clever was considered just gay.
Just gay?
Yeah.
I don't know if what do you mean just gay? She's
like
gay.
not an all-star champ.
Well,
nowadays I don't know what I don't know what nowadays you can call her.
Oh, yeah. She's
No,
gay.
anyways,
I
I've been
met her
crossing.
wife.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, she is great. And her wife's hot too.
Yeah.
I think her wife might be Armenian.
No, I've been a coach since 2012.
I'm going to give, because you're calling, I'm going to tell you the one place I think juice is okay.
Oh, I don't like it at all. But
I like
it's a job right now.
I like to take a little bit of juice, let my boys take a little bit of juice, like a 1/8 to water mix, and then pour it into one of those popsicle makers, and then it freezes, and then they're popsicles, and they can eat them on hot days. And it's probably each popsicle has less than a gram of sugar, but my kids think it's the fucking greatest thing ever. There, I just supported
the behind
juice.
the scenes of how juice, the behind the scenes of actually how juice is made and stuff is. And I used to work for years ago. I used to work for a company for Red Bull, and the behind the scenes of everything is the same. I know, right? I know.
Hey, I've drank my share of Red Bull. I ain't hating.
Hey, money's money sometimes in the need. Sometimes you got to do what you do, but still preach the gospel of Glassman.
Hey, what were you going to say about the making of juice? Does it make you want to throw up? Like you just see like a rat run into the grinder and it's like 7,000 oranges and a rat?
Oh no, here's something. So like we live in a place where, like I live where Fikowski lives, and we live in a place that would be considered the Napa Valley or like Orchard Valley of Canada, right? So a very beautiful place in the mountains. And we have to now outsource because a lot of the stuff has gone from, like, we're a lot of agricultural land. So we've now gone from apples to wine. So wine is a major industry in the valley that we live in. So now all the apples that we used to get and be able to grow here locally are now outsourced through Washington or other places. And a lot of times the concentrate we get is actually from China. Apple concentrate actually in huge tote containers are from China. Our orange juice, I was talking to the orange juice guy that came up from Florida in his pumper truck. And I said, oh, like, how are the roads and blah, blah, blah.
His pumper truck?
Yeah, it comes in a pumper truck.
Pumper, I hardly know.
The concentrate of orange juice comes in but get this. So I said, like, what's, how much of this came from, orchards of oranges in Florida? He's like, actually, what's in your truck right now came from Turkey. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, all this stuff is actually outsourced. And I remember talking one day to a vegan, and we were talking about, typical vegan debates and conversations. But, when they actually look at the carbon footprint of what it takes to get orange juice or a banana into Canada, I'll take the cow burp every time.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck about climate. It's just that is another massive sleep. Those are all the idiot. How do you know someone's asleep? Because they fucking are worried about climate change. It's right. It's not 100%. It's not science, but it's a pretty strong correlate that they're fucking a zombie. That's a zombie. The zombie litmus.
Sevan, you should see the amount of sugar, the pallets of sugar that I move around into the vats that go into these juices that these guys make and mix. I just drive a forklift and the heavy machinery, so I don't actually do any.
You ever crashed the forklift?
I'll say I bumped stuff. I haven't crashed anything yet.
You ever purposely jousted something? Just like, fuck it.
No, I haven't jousted anything.
Oh, you have.
That's like 8,000 pounds that would go through. That's like 8,000 pounds that'll go through a wall pretty easily, or a human being.
God, I would if I could be a 14-year-old boy left in a new car lot with a fucking forklift, I would die and go to heaven.
They should not have trusted you.
Oh, for sure.
You did bad shit with the forklift, Caleb? How could you not? I would be running shit over. Full speed, 6 miles an hour. Run that over.
Well, you get a reality check once that. You get a reality check when that thing goes on 2 wheels really quick.
Wow.
Yeah. That's just stressed you out a little bit.
I haven't read into it. Well, thank you for calling. I appreciate you being able to talk to us and do your dishes at the same time. That was really cool. That sends a subliminal message to all the women listening to the show.
I'm just making my breakfast so I can head up to the hill to go skiing.
All right. Peace and love.
All right. Thank you.
How the fuck does he afford? I can't afford to go skiing. How the fuck can a forklift operator probably doesn't have to take 5 people with him.
Hey, you make some good money as a forklift operator.
Probably doesn't live in California.
I just drive. I just drive a forklift. Nazi bookkeeper was convicted a few years ago, but didn't kill anyone. Nazi bookkeeper. Oh, really? The librarian, a Nazi librarian, was convicted. Okay, well, let's go back. Where were we? You were pulling something up, Caleb. Sorry. The Pentagon.
This is no rep.
We're in Brent's no rep.
Oh, that's Brent. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Do you want to watch it?
Sure. I love Brent. I love Brent Edwards. Brent Fikowski.
He's in the blue shirt here.
That was the operations officer at CrossFit Inc. I do love Brent Edwards. Okay. The guy in the blue shirt with his hands up. Oh, and does that cost him the event? Oh, shit. Hey, that really was a no rep, though. That really was. No, he doesn't do a lunge at the end. He steps in. Watch this. Oh, no.
It was the foot shuffle.
Oh, what are you guys seeing? Sorry, I thought I saw something else. What's he do? What can you do?
On his right before his last step, he shuffles his feet a little bit.
How are you able to rewind it back so little?
Just hit the little J or L, gives you 10 seconds.
What JRL? Oh, on your keyboard?
Yeah.
I use the arrow keys.
Do it one more time. I keep missing the shuffle.
Oh, the arrow keys.
Oh,
gives you
that?
5 seconds.
That little pitter patter?
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
I would
Oh my
assume
God.
I would
Hey,
assume
dude,
that would be
and
it.
And look, it's not even his judge. It's like some other.
Oh wait,
like,
was it the arm? Was it his arm? Was it his right arm? Did the right arm watch the right arm of the dumbbell? It came down before it crossed the line. That was it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see
That was
it.
it. I am now the
One more
new
time?
Andrew. I am now the new Andrew Hiller. There we go.
Yeah. I like
oh
See?
my goodness. God, that's tough. Hey, why is there? How many judges are on the lane? Look at how
that.
it's.
Dude,
Originally, there's supposed to be 1 per, but then 10 people walked out. They're like, "Okay, screw it. Everybody find a spot. Hurry up."
Colby Stevens. Yeah, I guess he's. It's the arm that fell before he locked out. Thank you, Colby.
Yeah.
The head judge was watching him like an eagle.
an Arabian eagle.
Why isn't Dubai outside? Seems so dark this year. I don't know.
The sunset is super early.
Oh.
Did you want to look at the Pentagon stuff?
Oh yeah, Pentagon. Yes. I'm just looking at our thread. Okay. Last week, the Department of Defense revealed that it had failed its 5th consecutive audit. I wouldn't say that we flunked, said the Department of Defense controller, typo.
Comptroller.
Mike McCord, although this office did note that the Pentagon only managed to account for 39% of its $3.5 trillion in assets. Keep scrolling down a little bit. Let me see what else it says. I don't understand why they don't just lie. Right? Because at this point, like,
on top of their lying.
At this point, like, you're clearly fucking up. Like, of the 27 areas, and by lie, I mean just say, hey, we can't tell you where we spent this 70%. It's national security.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like.
Absolutely. You have that power. You can say literally say whatever you want.
Given this accounting disaster, it should come as no surprise that the Pentagon, by the way, I don't need your analysis. It's an accounting disaster. I'll decide that. It should come as no surprise that the Pentagon has a habit of bad financial math. This is especially true when it comes to estimating the cost of weapons programs. The Pentagon's most famous recent boondoggles, the F-35 program, which has gone over its original budget of $165 billion to date. But the examples of overruns abound, as Senator Jim Inhofe, Republican of Oklahoma, and Jack Reed, Democrat of Rhode Island, wrote in 2020, the lead vessel for every one of the Navy's last 8 combat ships came in at least 10% over budget, leading to more than $8 billion in additional costs. Whatever, just print more money.
Yeah, that'll be Oh, we can't just skip over that word there.
Boondoggle, a work or
That's
activity that is
word.
wasteful or pointless, but gives the appearance of having value.
The U.S. government.
Maybe we should change this podcast to the Boondoggle podcast.
Ooh.
Boondoggle.
Every live Collins show would just be called the Boondoggle.
Oh, scrolling back down to the bottom. God, maybe my system is fucked up. Maybe my list is too big. Before I had said something, man, you guys are quick. We were talking about all the people who went at Greg Glassman and who were like, I'm out and all that stuff. And I said it was kind of cool that Matt Fraser didn't say anything, but someone, of course, had to dig and send me this link, and I was clearly wrong.
Damn.
I know.
People that watch this podcast are just vicious.
I know. And one of you was kind enough to send me this post that Fraser did make. So I guess everyone this one's actually really brutal because it's really a direct attack not only on Greg but the whole entire affiliate community. Just kind of weird. Do you see it? It's number 288, Caleb. He just this is it, just right here. He just reposted what Jason Khalipa said, and he says change comes from action. Thank you, Jason. So he just piggybacked off of Jason saying we will no longer be a CrossFit affiliate. I just wanted to, I'm not taking a shot at Matt or anything, but I just wanted to stand corrected. Like he did, okay, fuck. I guess everyone was jumping on the bandwagon.
Look at that first comment there.
Social justice is the new religion for a Marxist movement that wants to destroy this country. Putting support behind this is unpatriotic, spits in the face of men and women who have lived and died for the freedom we take for granted. Yeah, of course. Let me read you this.
Nice.
Let me read you this that someone sent me. Maybe you guys can guess who this is. Who sent me this?
And by the way, that may have come from pressure from sponsors to Matt. And he was like,
right.
Well, what's the minimum we could do? Oh, Khalipa said this. That's pretty
yes,
decent. Let's just repost that rather than even having it come from his own words because he just didn't even believe in it. So that's why he said, hey, thanks to these guys because it shows us that there's alternatives.
Yes. But either way,
a corporation I was working with pressured me for a response, and they're not even in the fucking fitness industry at all. It's not even close. I had no idea if they even knew any of it was happening.
I drank like 8 shots of espresso once in a row, just in a cup. I did not feel good. Sorry, I'm late. Caleb Beaver, try this 4 ounce of toddy cold brew, 6 shots of espresso, a little half and half topped with whipped cream, 20 ounces, 20 ounce cup. It's called the glass blower cup of death liquid crack rocket fuel. For those of you who are women who don't know, well, I mean, I don't know what you guys know, but when you drink that much coffee, it changes I don't know what the word is.
Genetic makeup
of your penis. It's not good for your penis to drink that much coffee.
Is that fact? Or you just
no, that's fact. Like something's different. Like that's like when next time you go to the bathroom, like something's a little off here.
Shrinkage?
I don't know what it is, but you can over caffeinate yourself and your penis isn't right. Like either the pee or the feel of it, or
heart would explode.
It's just not.
pH.
Jonathan, the pH level.
Yeah, maybe it changes the pH level of your penis. Yeah.
That's it.
The viscosity.
Yeah, something. The temperature. Okay, here we go. And if you want, it sounds like Bruce Wayne, that's all he drinks on Sundays. So if you want an example of what that penis looks or feels like, Bruce Wayne is an expert. Oh,
Fixer didn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know if it bothers me either, but I'm just telling you it. Anyway. Mainstream media and academia have been incessant with the message that racism is why blacks live the way they do. As black culture devolves to accept and embrace that view, the animus towards whites becomes self-evident. It is at that point where whites will have the rational reason to not like blacks, and none of that has any origins or endpoints in racism. It's all Marxist race baiting to damage our way of life, our culture, our economy. Blacks will suffer the most. The black community is a victim and dupes of white Marxists.
What was that from? Where'd you read that from?
I can't tell you.
Oh,
this was the text message.
Yeah, someone sent me that. And I'm like,
article.
yeah, I would change maybe some words around. But when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's the fucking tragedy. All the good guys are basically just enforcing the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks. They call themselves progressives. They're the farthest. They're just building a cage on top of the cage that already exists. They're just putting layers to it. 287, this can't be real. Okay, we made a course correction. Fraser did say a statement. 287. How are you on time, Mr. Beaver?
I'm good.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Oh, this is crazy. This is fucking nuts. I love this guy's analysis at the end. Okay, here we go.
Fresh and Fit podcast.
Instagram or a long-term boyfriend? Pick. Okay, let's see.
Instagram.
Okay.
What?
Instagram.
Instagram.
She didn't
Okay.
even have to think about it.
Instagram. Okay.
Oh, Judean's getting red pilled right now.
Okay. What about you?
Probably Instagram.
I'm Mr. Troy.
I probably already knew, but Instagram.
What the?
I would say Instagram. I haven't met or found a man yet that can give me what Instagram I think.
Whoa! Yeah, this is why this show is necessary. Do you see how all these girls are in a relationship with Instagram instead of a real man? They're addicted to attention instead of love.
Instagram or a long-term
Nico.
boyfriend?
That's funny.
Every single woman that I've known who marries a beta male, and I try not to use that word on this show, the alpha and beta shit, but I'll tell you what a beta male is. It's the male that is really, really nice and caring nonstop as part of the courtship process. They set a level, and they don't make decisions. So they're always asking their wives, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? They don't want to make decisions. And it's really nice to be around. The long-term play, after 2 years of that, the women fucking hate it. 100%. Everyone needs toxic masculinity in their life.
Wait, I think it'll
Us-
be toxic.
I know, I'm just fucking around.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was like,
Even us men want it. Us men want to be around that masculinity. No one wants to be around indecisiveness masquerading as kindness.
especially
we
when shit
want
gets
it.
hard.
Strong men want strong leaders. We want to be
I can-
told. Go ahead, Caleb.
It's like a physical reaction when I'm around somebody who will make decisions, will stand by their decisions. And it's always so interesting to me, like how much energy I receive from them just by their presence in the room with me. And like just having conversations with that person makes me feel like I can, like, we're on the same wavelength, and we're also like just like siphoning strength off of each other and energy to like complete things. Like if I know somebody who's like a high level whatever, and they are strong in their beliefs and they're able to make decisions and they're always like correct in their decisions, that person and I will like work in congruence until the job is completed. And like I will not sleep until it's done. Like you can feel that.
Yes. It's a partnership. It's a partnership, but it's not an equal partnership. It's not an equal partnership. By that I mean it fits together like it fits together. There's some parts where they're this long and you're only this long, and then there's some parts where you're this long and they're only this long. There's different tasks. Yeah, I'm a fucking amazing fucking human being. I choose my alphas to be around, and I'm an amazing subordinate, and I'm so proud of that when I'm around a strong person. And I don't think that makes me any less.
You're just fitting into the puzzle.
I'm the greatest tool an alpha can have.
I would say
Yeah.
that makes you more secure.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
the
it's-
greatest fucking. An alpha is lucky to fucking cross paths with me
Yeah, because
because of my value that I add to them.
well, a good leader also knows when to be a good follower.
Sure.
And if you don't know how to be if you're a good leader and you're a good follower, then you could add value to any situation. If you're somebody that has to lead because your ego says you need to lead. And Sevan can't be in charge because I have to be the one that everybody looks at. That's not probably the best scenario for all of us here. That's the best scenario for me and my ego.
Right.
So a true leader will set that aside to make sure to get the task completed or for the betterment of the team, because they know it's not the time for them to lead right now. It's the time for them to be a good subordinate, as you said.
Yeah.
And so being able to toggle back and forth between those two and have the field awareness to know where your position is, know your role and play it well, right?
Jeff, I think this is it's a give and take. Here's the thing. I think
That's right.
I think that a control freak is not an alpha, and I think that's where the two get conflated sometimes.
They're usually the most scared and insecure because they got to control everything around them. Otherwise,
yeah, the alphas are just like the lion doesn't care about the kids. The alpha's focused on the task at hand. He's not worried about like the cubs playing in the field or the female lions doing their shit over here. He has one task. And that's what he's not trying to control everything. And that's what I mean. Like, they're not the boss. They're just certain of what they need to do.
Yeah.
And if you want to get on board and do stuff at a fucking high level, that's who you want to fucking roll with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. But unfortunately, women will be duped by society, and men will be duped by society to appease people, because that can get you what you want short term, but it will not be a fucking healthy relationship. Another thing that I keep seeing over and over, and I think we all have friends like this, if you don't know how to fight with your girlfriend, then definitely don't marry her. You have to be able to fight. You have to be able to fight, and there has to be, if you can't fight with your mate, then there's going to be shit that you're not going to be able to get through.
What do you mean you have to be able to fight? Like you have to be able to communicate your way through issues?
Yeah, right. But fight, have your feelings hurt, and come back, and by fight I mean like when my kids fight, they know how to fight each other. They don't serve each other death blows.
Right.
Like you don't throat punch someone. You know what I mean? You don't kick someone as hard as you can. Like but if you're feeling something and someone needs to be told to shut the fuck up, and you can't tell someone that, then you're fucked. If your mate doesn't know how to like handle that. But also, you don't be like, I fucking hate your mom and I hope she never comes to the house again. That may have been the death blow.
Yeah, that's not.
You might have trouble backing out of that one. You know what I mean?
You may not. Yeah, you're not be able to.
So you have to. But you do have to be able to. The man and the woman have to be able to tango, and I think a lot of men and women, I think that's the downfall of their relationships. They don't know how to tussle. It's kind of like this, and you could just make rules for yourself too. Like, never get in a fight that's so bad that you can't kiss your wife goodnight. Don't get in a fight that's so bad that you go sleep in the other room, even if you want to. Don't ever like. I don't know if those are the right rules, by the way, but I'm just saying, like, set a boundary to yourself where you're not like, at that point, like when you're sleeping on the floor, it's like, then it's become your ego. You're like, fuck you, I ain't sleeping by. It's like, My wife and I will be married 28 years this year, and it's because we recognize each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we share jobs accordingly in our life. Yeah. That's 28 years is dope.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And for all you young cats out there that are starting to date, if you want a long-term look into the future, a hack, if you will, just watch the way the person who you're courting, watch the way their family interacts with each other as you start to get involved, because the way that family communicates and that dynamic is something not only that you're going to have and live with for long term, but that's the same way your spouse is going to communicate. And it's the same dynamic that eventually she will bring out as well.
Give me an example. You mean like if the mom
I got a great example. So like I have my mom's close friend. She's actually been good. They've been good friends since middle school, right?
What are you laughing at, Caleb? Do you know the story, or do you think
No, I know the in-laws, man. Like, and Susan's getting a good taste of this, I'm sure.
Well, out of context for that, but my mom's good friend, they've been friends since literally middle school with each other. Her side of the family, if you were just a fly on the wall, you walked into that house and you didn't know any of them, you would swear that they hate each other. I mean, they would get, you fucking bitch, I hope you fucking die. Go back into your room and blah, 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 blah. Or the husband will take off on his motorcycle. Oh, I hope he fucking crashes. Like, it's just like way over the top. But the family is incredibly close, and there's just an immense amount of love inside that family. But if you were just to listen to them,
what the fuck did you just explain to me? Was that some sort of magic you just cast on me? She tells him, listen to me. If my wife told me, I hope you crashed on your motorcycle, I wouldn't fucking get on my motorcycle. That would fuck me.
Yeah,
That's so-
I could never handle that.
yeah. And they call you.
I would go in the backyard and start crying. I would get in the fucking fetal position. I could never handle that.
It's nuts. They go like way over the top, and then a little bit later, everybody's like calm and it's like good, or they'll be like, "Oh, I was just saying that, blah blah blah," and you're kind of like, "Holy shit, that was intense." So anyhow, when the daughter, she has 2 daughters, and they're one of them's older than me, one of them's the same age, and that's the same interaction that she's going to have with her boyfriends at some point as they get comfortable and the relationship gets long term. You're going to see that dynamic come out. And so if he is like how you are with that, and she says something, wait, fuck you, I hate you, I don't want to see your face again, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was a death blow. But to her, she's like, oh, whatever, I don't mean that, I'm just spouting off. And he's like, okay. So it's kind of funny because I've been around them my whole entire life. So you would just hear it say stuff that you're like, you say that?
Do they throw stuff at each other?
Nothing physical. No.
That's how it's been getting here lately. Like if you're just a fly on the wall in our offices, everybody sounds like they just want to fucking kill each other.
It's
wow.
No, they're
But
like
everything gets done. We all appreciate each other. Everybody lets everybody do what they want. But within the waking hours, it's like mass chaos.
Has anyone been? Aren't you afraid someone's going to report you if you're like, "Hey, eat a bag of dicks"?
Oh, dude, that's not even close to how bad it's been.
That's
but
mild.
Wow.
That's so mild. Yeah. No.
Hey, do you make up with them?
Oh, we're just always on that level. So like, as soon as that conversation stops and like there's a lull, there's like, what do you want to watch?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, can you
I
grab
love
that?
it.
You want to go get lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
100%.
God.
That's exactly
Dude,
how
You fucked this up again for the 100th time. When are you going to fucking learn? By the way, where are we going for lunch?
Exactly. Answer the fucking phone at the front desk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. And then you also get this weird tribalism, right? So like they'll yell at each other and go like that. And then if Sevan were to come into the room and be like, yeah, your sister is a bitch, everybody, like a record would scratch and everybody in the
I'm
house
sorry,
would be
what?
like,
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
what did you just say about her? And it would be like,
Yes.
oh, now it's gone too serious. But yeah, it's kind of funny. So anyhow,
It's like I can shit on you, but if anybody else comes in here and shits on you, they're dead.
we're gonna have a problem. Yeah.
Yes.
None of those women in that video that we just saw. God, I don't know how I want to word this. Just be careful who you choose. Don't be duped by people's looks, man.
Oh, you're talking about from the Fresh and Fit podcast. Have you watched that at length at all?
No, I didn't even know what it was. I just saw that and I was just like, God, this is it's so easy to pick a mate if you just drop shit. Like so many people know what they want. Just know what you don't want. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it because everything I'm saying, I'm like, I could think of counter arguments, but basically that like you basically want an earthy girl. You want a girl like who like pick something that's like not far off the ground. Like find a girl in Oklahoma who grew up on a fucking farm. Like, and then work with her from there, build her from there. Like the higher you grab something, the more fucked up it's going to be. You want something that's just dirt and then you could fucking turn it into you guys can grow into diamonds together. Don't think that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Someone gets it.
Well,
be very careful. Like you're gonna pick this. You're gonna climb the tree and pick the fucking ripest apple up there. And let me tell you, it's not gonna be. Not gonna be good. You want to. This is Craig Ritchie's sister. Hi, how are you? I apologize for anything I've said or done. Oh shit. Hi. Hi.
Female perspective on the topics that we're on right now.
Right.
So one of the things that I think
are you Craig Ritchie's sister, by the way?
I'm not. No,
Oh,
no
okay.
relation.
All right.
I wish I could say it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Sorry, there's
Action. It's all.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So one of the things that I think is very underrated in society today, especially in American culture, is this idea that young men know where they're going. As a woman, I think we just want to know we are safe. And so if we know through the process of courtship that where our man is going, we can hop on that train, we're the ride or die. And so I think that if young men...
What do you mean safe? What do you mean safe?
We want to know where our future lies, the basic stuff. Are we protected? Are we provided for? Are our kids going to be safe and be raised, to be better humans than our spouse and, ourselves or whatever?
What about those women who are attracted to those guys who are always fighting and shit then, though? Like, I see women being attracted to guys who I'm like, that guy's not fucking safe.
No, they're going to be safe. He's going to protect them.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, and it's the attention too, right? If you're constantly fighting, your energies are always pitted towards each other.
Right. And I think Caleb also said that too. If you have a dad who is like, your radar might be fucked up of what's not you personally, but your radar might be fucked up based on what you think safe is, based on who your dad is. And it really is a man with a woman who believes in him is a fucking powerful man. Holy shit.
Yes. And that's what women want. Women want to be able to be behind their men. Right. Good women do. Right. Women who are just out for attention will fight against you, and it'll be all the funny memes and shit about, how your wife is annoying. But like, good women want to be with men that they can, respect and that they know make them safe. And so I think, rather than running around being afraid that you haven't dated a bunch of people, how about you focus on yourself, and there are good women out there who are doing the same thing and just want to be able to look over and know that they can come alongside somebody going in the same direction.
Let me ask you this. Say that again, Caleb?
So that's how I got my wife. I told her I had a plan.
Yeah, Caleb.
Here we are.
I'm not sure what my wife saw in me, but I think I know what she sees in me now. But what's interesting about that is there's things that like if someone were to say to me, going back to the motorcycle thing, if someone were to say to me, "Hey, I hope you die on your motorcycle today," it wouldn't affect me at all. But if my wife said it, it would hugely affect me, because I almost feel personal accountability for everything she thinks and does too, which brings me to this next thought. There's this other thing that I think that in a good relationship you have to do as a man is there's always this huge precedence of men needing to be good listeners and all this stuff for their wives. But there's also a huge piece where you have to learn, even at the cost of hurting your wife a little bit, to ignore the stuff she says that she shouldn't be feeding, like thoughts she might have, and you shouldn't feed them. I'm not saying you be a dick to her and be like, "Hey, that's a stupid thought, get rid of it." But there is a massive nurturing piece in women where you don't want to nurture every one of their fears.
Right. And women are thinking about everything.
Yeah.
Women have that. Yeah. And all at once. Whereas guys are able to kind of focus on A, B, C in their own time. Women are thinking about everything, which is why I think that they get a rap for not being able to make a decision. It's just that we are constantly overloaded with all the possibilities, and we just want to make the right one. And so guys have the unique ability to look into a situation and be like, nope, yes, and go with that. And I think that's your alpha right there. If you want to start building alphas, learn how to make a decision, not a stupid one, obviously. You want to be able to, look at a set of facts and circumstances and be able to, make a wise decision from there. But like, that's what women are looking for.
Whenever we go on a trip, I always set the time we leave. Always.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up at 6. Maybe you don't have to get up till 7. I'll have the car loaded and then we'll get going. And then when I jump in the fucking car, my wife says, "Did you pack their shoes?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, sorry, hold on." And I run out and fucking get their shoes. And it's like, they're both very important roles.
Right.
But I take,
and you're not being
I'm not being bossy. I'm taking that off her plate.
Exactly.
I'm taking that off her plate. So she doesn't have to, okay, fine.
And then she can think of the details, like the shoes, right?
Yeah,
she doesn't have to think of, what time are we leaving? What time do I need to have the boys up and bathed or whatever?
I'm worried about gas in the car. And she's like, "Did you bring them food?" I'm like, "What for?" It's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's
exactly.
Like,
so it's
what do you
very
mean?
helpful. Yeah.
She's like, it's a
Yeah.
7-hour ride. I'm like, yeah, we just wait
Yes.
when we get there. She's like, no.
We
come on.
we went on a trip and we forgot
Like,
to bring.
I'm fasted. I'm good.
Look at Jeremy Eat World. Call her. Are you single? Jesus, pervert.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a shame that it has to become contentious too, or like be tossed into like the sexist category. Or we all have such fantastic roles that are inherent in us that we can embrace and make us so powerful.
Yeah. Like, I don't want the role of, my potential husband. I don't want that role. And I don't want him to want my role. I want both of us to be able to, do what we do, and do what we were naturally kind of hardwired to do. That way, I think that makes a strong family. That makes a stronger world. And unfortunately, we're all so busy, worried about other people's jobs that we aren't even good at ours. We aren't even good at what we're supposed to be good at, and I think that's a tragedy. And I think that's why what makes the dating world so damn hard is nobody's just willing to say, yep, this is my job and I'm embracing it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling.
Yeah, guys, love the show. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey. Hello?
Hello?
Are you Jewish?
I'm not Jewish. Nope.
Are you black?
Nope.
Are you lesbian?
Nope.
All right, fine.
Any other questions?
I don't know. I just like it when I like get some like minority cred.
Well, I mean, I'm female. I can't say that.
You're what? Say it again. You're what? You're a midget?
I said I am a female, so if you count
fine.
that as a
okay.
I'll
take it.
Perfect.
Take what I can get.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
So Jay Hartle, your first issue is having them wear shoes. Yeah, the thing is yeah, I agree with you. They're so sick right now that when we go out, I've been putting shoes and socks on them because I don't want them losing body heat through the bottom of their feet. So but I appreciate. I've been putting hats on them. They're fucking bummed. Hats and shoes and socks and. Excuse me. Okay. This one kind of looks interesting. 285 bleeding performances. I don't know what that is. This is a guy talking about women's menstrual cycles. Okay, here we go.
This person asks a really good question about whether or not it's possible to be a CrossFit Games athlete or train like one and still have an active menstrual cycle. Having worked with over 40 CrossFit Games female athletes, I can tell you that the answer is a definitive yes. In fact, I would argue that if your goal is to become as fit as possible, one of the things you should focus on the most is making sure that you do maintain that female menstrual cycle. Here's why. The lack of a menstrual cycle in a female athlete is thought to be due to something called low energy availability, which is essentially a measurement of the amount of energy you're putting out through exercise compared to the amount of energy you're bringing in through your diet. Without enough energy coming in, the body is forced to prioritize where it spends the calories that you do give it. Things like a functioning brain and a pumping heart are really non-negotiable, but your female menstrual cycle, that's totally dispensable. At first, you might be thinking, who needs that thing anyways? I'm not trying to have kids right now. But there are a couple of major reasons that you really should care. The first reason is that when your menstrual cycle disappears, there are a couple of other functions that you probably do care about that disappear with it. Things like muscle repair and bone remodeling are greatly reduced, leading to less gains in the gym and a greater chance of injury. The other major reason is that estrogen plummets in the absence of a menstrual cycle. And while estrogen is, of course, known to do a number of sex-related functions, it actually has a pretty substantial role as an anabolic hormone, meaning that it helps you grow lean muscle mass as well. So yeah, eat to support your hormones. You'll be happier and healthier for it, but you'll also be a fitter version of yourself as well. This person asks,
if you're not having your menstrual cycle, it might be because you're not eating enough.
I didn't know we could still talk about that.
I can't. That's why we had him do it.
Oh, right.
We're so scared. I'm so scared.
Oh my goodness.
Where is Katrin with him? She hates him. She fucking hates him. Why does he keep saying female menstrual cycle? Is there great? He's a fucking great question.
It's called the refractory period.
Yeah, exactly. I personally have not had a menstrual cycle or seen any signs of my ability to have a menstrual cycle. Oh, 278. Let's look at this, Caleb. Caleb, hook up that electrode to the tip of your penis. Look at this, 278. Here it is.
Oh God.
Now, this isn't the original video. Someone clipped this video. I wish I had the original video so you could see the boob phenomenon. But look, it was this entire video of this girl when she does this video is awesome. Unfortunately, this video gets ruined because these guys. But basically, if you hit play on it, and then it's a video, and then these guys fuck the whole thing.
It's kind of hot, actually. They even wear crop tops. Oh, that's good. Yep.
Sensing some activity.
It's crazy. I appreciate you keep rewinding it. Anyway, that was that original video that I saw of that girl doing that is kind of what sparked the whole idea. I was watching my brain, and my brain couldn't, like, as soon as like she pulled the shirt down, the balloons were gone. They never existed. It's just like, oh, I see how that works. Do you guys think that, I don't think anyone even cares in the big picture. People are so addicted to I don't know if addicted is the right word. They're social media is such a big part of their life that they don't even care that Twitter was hiding the files. Like, no one even really cares. Like, everyone, like Souza and Caleb and I, we've had people on the show who have huge followings on TikTok, huge followings on Instagram. And they always tell us, well, you just have to learn to navigate it. And that's their way of saying, hey, they don't say what they want to say. They're owned by those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've had people who used to come on the show who won't come on the show anymore because they're scared that's going to cause them to lose their TikTok following.
Hey, you're gonna lose that TikTok. If you're attached to your TikTok following, I'm gonna let you know right now. Get it in while you can, because I bet you within the next year and a half, especially in the 2024 election, banning TikTok from our country is going to be a main topic.
Guaranteed. Oh yeah, you think it's coming? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, it's coming. Yeah, we won't go down that rabbit hole. It's coming.
Hey, let's talk about that on one show. Yeah, because I've been kind of watching some of that too. You and I haven't talked about that yet, but yeah, it's coming, huh?
Yeah,
it's some scary shit. It's some scary shit.
Hold on, I've been holding on to my 5.6 mil on TikTok. I'm actually, my dances have just taken off, and I'm just enjoying it while I can until the app disappears.
I guess those were the bouncing boobs. What number was that?
278.
Oh, 282. Here's another phenomenon. Watching girls eating hot dogs. This girl was a guest on the show. She was a great guest. But look at this video, 282, just to visit her again. I forget her name. Do you guys remember her name?
Leah?
Yeah, Leah.
Yeah, she was cool.
This is what I'm thinking of. I've probably watched this like numerous times.
Guy, where does hot dog go?
Oh, he threw it in reverse.
I swear to God, if some of the games athletes would start doing that, that would be it would be right up their alley.
The little flick of like saliva, it was so that really did it.
Go to her home. Go to her page, like her page. She's like a world record holder. She was on 27 Guinness Book of World Records. And there's some shots in there too of I don't really like the candy eating stuff.
I think it's just ice cream.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a popsicle.
God, the eating world is so fucking crazy. Yeah. Ooh, guys like that. Yeah, Allison, it's guys, things that are shaped like a penis, when a girl puts them into her mouth all the way, it does. I cannot
She said
lie.
When she was on our show, she said that those aren't even her most watched videos.
No, she said they are, I think.
Yeah, and her whole deal
I
was
thought
like,
they weren't.
does she keep making them or not?
Yeah.
That was like the struggle of her
Uh,
following. And clearly she's leaned into it since we've had her on the show.
Yeah, she's fully leaned in. I don't know if liked it is the right word. Maybe you should use love it. But Yeah, the idea of eating, but look at her body. Click on her body. Look how crazy her body is. So if you guys haven't seen that podcast, it's crazy what she has to do to keep that body and eat the shit she eats. Maybe we should have her on again. I really enjoyed her.
Yeah, she was cool.
It was really cool.
It'd be cool just to know where she's at, like advancement as far as like how she creates her content and stuff now. Because remember when we talked to her before and she was like, "Oh, I get a call from this restaurant and they want to do a sponsorship deal, and I come out and eat their main thing." And we're like, "Okay." And you're like, "So what do you got? You got you and a couple people," and you come and she's like, "No, it's just me." And you were like, "Wait, you show up and you set up all the lighting and you set up all the cameras and then you film it and go back home and edit it?" She's like, "Yeah." You remember when we had that conversation? And we were
I remember when I asked her if she was Jewish. Oh, yeah, she had a boyfriend that helped her, but she kicked him to the curb.
Yeah, that's right.
And when I mentioned she was Jewish, it made her uncomfortable, and then I leaned into it with her, and she embraced it a little bit. Do you remember all that?
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
That was a good show.
So I wonder where she's at now. Just like follow up.
No, but she wants some Armenian in her. That's for sure. I kind of fucked that joke up.
No, you had it.
Yeah,
that was the
Yeah.
that was the spirit of it.
Do you have any Armenian in you? No. Do you want some?
Yeah, do you want a little? Fuck, that's bad.
That's like sophomore year high school.
Just
right about where I sit intellectually.
And just as a heads up, in a minute or two, I gotta take off and get ready.
Fine, fuck it. Spiegel, give it to us. 1999.
Where's my money?
Yeah, bring that money. Guys, thank you. Let me see. I'm talking to a group of kids here soon.
Yeah. Friday.
They're gonna let you talk to kids.
They are. It's crazy.
We needed that. We need your I gotta make sure. Maybe I'll just talk to Haley about it and we'll get the big like do not cuss sign on the computer.
Avi wants to know, my wife just texted me this, if Andrew Hiller, if Sylvester Stallone is stronger than Andrew Hiller. Yes.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Oh, not anymore. Tell him not anymore. And Joseph wants to know if he's stronger than Hunter. Wow.
Yes, he is. We just watched him split power clean 345, drop it, and then hit a squat clean at 345 immediately afterwards for a PR double.
Yeah. So you think he probably benches
Hunter
more
doing
than
that.
Hunter, better weighted pull up.
There might be some modalities will Hunter would
Snatch.
get him in, but that explosive power from like.
But I just mean like the
snatch
strength
or a
shit.
Yeah, snatch or a power clean, snatch power clean.
What
He'll
about
probably
arm
out
wrestling? Who do you
deadlift
think
him.
wins in Hunter and Hiller in arm wrestling?
Ooh, I'm not familiar with like Hunter's technique on that because as you were talking about, it's all about like
Hunter.
the thing with the
I think
wrist.
Hunter's
So
coming back
Hunter knows
soon.
weird shit.
Hunter is coming back soon. We gotta coax him in here.
Oh shit, we have Dale King tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be a great. Yeah, so jealous you got that sweatshirt.
Hey, so I reached out to that affiliate. I know Dale, and I reached out to that affiliate. I'm like, "You want to come on my show?" And he goes, "You know this is Dale, right?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know."
Yes.
You know this is Dale.
I thought about it, Bruce. I actually thought about it. I don't even know if I've ever done an over the line burpee, but I was actually thinking it's not 30 seconds, is it? It's a minute, right?
Yeah, or
I think it was 90 seconds for the burpees and 30 for the muscle ups.
yeah. I think you're right. I remember seeing 90. I thought it was
90 was for the pull-ups. That's what Hiller did.
Well, that I saw
60
that
was the
video.
burpee and 30 was the muscle up.
Yes,
So
correct.
Hiller had 90 seconds to perform as many pull-ups as he can, but instead he just went from one unbroken set, or was it only one unbroken set?
That was
He
one
did
of
it
the
in
road
two.
set in
Hiller
90
Hiller got down and got back up.
No, he did.
No,
not.
he readjusted. He shook his hand out, and he was still on the rig the whole time. And
Yeah,
then
it was an unbroken set, but it ended at 90 seconds.
It ended at 90 seconds, but he just did an unbroken set. He still had time on the clock.
Correct.
He still could have kept going. Okay. That's
No,
fine.
no. When Hiller did it,
When Hiller did it, he did his 76 pull up at 90 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
but he came off the bar and took a rest and went back up. No?
He like stopped for a second and then like went into like a kipping pull up instead of a butterfly because he was losing his grip.
This is my coffee pods and wads coffee cup.
Oh, I got one too.
And although it's
Oh, so did
smaller,
I.
it's
Oh,
smaller
wait.
than my paper. Sousa didn't get one.
I ordered it. I ordered it from him.
And it is really a nice. It's a really nice cup. It's a little less coffee than the Paper Street one I have, but I brought it on this trip. It's nice.
It's a nice cup.
It has a headphones, a weight. What the fuck is that other thing on there?
It's the espresso thing.
Espresso.
Oh,
It's like the espresso, what you put all your grounds in.
yeah. I keep meaning to say thank you. Cheers. Thank you. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow morning for our affiliate series show. Man, these live call-in shows have spoiled me. This is so fun.
Yeah, they're a good time.
Be mindful today. Don't eat sugar, and try to do something that normally you would have taken the less compassionate route and just create space. You don't even have to do anything. You can just let it pass. Love you guys.